Hello everyone, welcome to MeroSiksha. I'm Sharma. So by looking at the screen, you might have already guessed what I'm going to teach today. So the content for today is about a tense. So what is the first and foremost thing that comes up in your mind when you hear about a tense? So this is something that we have been studying since a very long time, right? So what is the idea that comes up in your mind when you hear something about a tense? So let us find out what tense is. So tense are the building blocks of a sentence. So why do we call this as a building block? Because it is a form of a verb. Because they are the form of the verb that is used to express the time period of the occurrence of the action. So these tenses are the building blocks because they are a form of a verb that helps us to understand when the action occurred, or when somebody performed something, or when something happened. So here, and it is normal, like it is normal to make our sentence authentic only with the presence of a verb. So tense is a form of a verb that helps us to understand when the action occurred or when somebody performed something. So with the help of a tense, we are able to know about the time of the event, as I already mentioned before, and also when person did something, and also when something happened, right? So talking about the tense, we have mainly three types of tense: the present tense, past tense, and the future tense. And these three types of tense consist of four subtypes each. So four subtypes, as they consist of four subtypes each, we have 12 tense altogether. So in English grammar, we have altogether 12 tenses. So because each type has 4 subtypes. So let us find out what is the uses of these subtypes and how are we supposed to use, and what is the structure that you should be very much watchful about, and how are we supposed to create a sentence. So talking about the first subtype of a present tense, that is simple present tense. So why do we use present tense? We use present tense whenever we are to talk about events or the action that talks about a general truth. So we use this present tense when we have to know about the universal truth, when we have to talk about the facts or the habits, and while talking something about in a simple present form, we use the time adverbial never or always as well. So the thing is, whenever we are talking about this, whenever we are presenting some idea in a simple present form, we talk about our habits or the facts or something that is universally true. For example, here examples are that connects the universal truth is sun gives us light, or the I like roses, he is always happy as well. Or we can also write this statement as he is never happy or he is never sad. So whenever we are using simple present tense, we are supposed to use this particular structure. So verb 1 or verb 5. So we use verb 1 or a verb 5 being based on the subject that we choose. So in a simple term, to express simple present tense, we use simple present tense in order to talk about facts or the habits or something that is generally true. Now let us move to the second subtype, that is present continuous tense. So this present continuous tense is the second subtype, and we use present continuous tense in order to talk about action that is ongoing in present. So here we talk about action or the event ongoing in a current moment. If something is happening at the particular moment, when if we have to express this, then we express it in a present continuous form. And whenever we are to express something that is happening in a current moment, we use the structure this, that is MR plus verb for, actually verb and then the verb for ing form. So we use this either is, am, or are being based on a subject that we choose. So now also the another thing is we use whenever we are to talk about something in a present continuous tense, we use the time adverbial now or still. Similarly, we talk about something that are happening now, something that is occurring at the moment, right? So for example, using a time adverbial, here the sentence created, that is, the boys are playing cricket now. So here subject the boy, and being based on the subject I have chosen the auxiliary verb and then the verb for, and then I've created a sentence. So here this the boys is in a plural form, subject is in a plural form, because of which that particular reason I chose here the auxiliary verb are. In order to, so the thing is, you should align the subject and the verb whenever you are creating a sentence. Okay, so now talking about something happening now, you can also relate these example, or you can also say currently I am listening to English lecture. Okay, so now we use this present continuous tense also to talk about future plans or arrangement, something that is to happen in a future, but we are talking it now. We use to describe that particular idea in a present continuous tense. That is, for example, something is going to happen on Thursday, and then you are working for that particular event today. Then in order to express that particular idea, you will be saying it in present continuous tense. So let us find out how. So we will be saying, this is how we are saying. For example, imagine that there's a program on Wednesday, and you are doing something for that particular program today. Then we are to express that particular idea in a present continuous tense. So we will be saying, we are organizing program on Wednesday. So moving on to the next idea, that is present perfect tense. So when do we use present perfect tense? So this is something that makes most of the students in a perplexed situation, right? So but not to get confused in this. So present perfect tense is used to talk about events or the actions, or the action that has already been started, has been started in the past, and has been completed until the current time. Something that is started in the past and also has been completed by the time you talk about that particular idea. So in order to talk about this particular idea, you can use time adverbial yet or already as well. So whenever we are describing about our experiences or the situation, we use this present perfect tense as well. The structure that we follow is has, have plus verb 3, because we are talking about some idea or some actions that is started in the past and has been already completed in a current point. So let us find out the example. The thing is, no, I have not finished the work yet. That is, this I started to do the work, and till the current point of time the work is yet to be complete, right? So it's indicating to this particular idea. Now here, talking about the situation or talking about the experience, I have convinced my parents for the trip. The thing is, the act of convincing occurred in the past, and by the current time, this I has been able to convince the parent for the trip. Let us move to the another, that is present perfect continuous tense. This is something quite hectic to most of the students, because we usually get confused in the idea of what present perfect tense is and what is present perfect continuous tense is. So here we use this present perfect continuous tense to talk about actions again that has started in the past and is still continuing in a current time. So beforehand, when we talk about present perfect tense, we mention the idea that we talk about action that has started and has already completed in a current point, right? So when we talk about this continuous tense, we talk about action that has started in the past but it is still ongoing in the current time as well. So with the time adverbial, all of this year or the morning, we talk about the beginning of action in the past and is still continuing by the time you talk about that particular idea. So to mention about this particular present perfect continuous tense, we use has, have, been plus were for, because remember we are talking about something that occurred in the past and something that occurred in the past and is still continuing in the present, it is yet to complete. So the thing is, you must have finished the book. I think you have been reading it since last week. Here the speaker you is talking about the action, talking about the completion of the action, that is the you is talking about the completion of the reading of the book. But here this also indicates that the reading of the book has started in the past, the action of reading of the book has started in the past, but the reading is still in progress form, it is yet to complete. So here I think you have been reading it since last week, that is the action of reading is still going on, it is yet to complete, right? So now let us move to the another tense, that is the past tense. This is another main form of a tense, past tense, and the subtype is simple past. So we talk whenever we ought to talk about something that happened in the past or something that happened beforehand, we use this past tense. Talking about a simple past tense, whenever we ought to talk about action or the events that already completed in the past, we use this particular simple past form, and the formula is subject plus verb to plus object. And talking about the time adverbials, we may use yesterday or ago in order to talk about the simple past. So okay, so this is quite easier one for we all. This is something that not drags us into a second thought, right? So yeah, so something strange happened on my way to home yesterday. So this sentence is indicating that something happened yesterday on her way back to home. So remember, we are supposed to use this verb for whenever we are talking about something that happened in the past. Let us move to the another idea, that is past continuous tense, and this is second subtype of our past tense. So we use this past continuous tense in order to describe about the events or action that continued to occur for a shortened time in the past, something that was in progress, in a progressive form in the past. So we use this structure, that is was, were plus verb for. It is for sure that in order to talk about something ongoing or something progressive, we use verb for. But as we are talking about this past continuous tense, we are to be very watchful about the auxiliary verb that use. So we will be using was or were. So was or were is you choose it being based on the subject you think of writing. So to talk about action or event that were ongoing, that were in progress in the past, we use this particular tense. Let us look at the example, that is Simran took my photo while I was not looking at the camera. So let us move to the another idea, that is past perfect tense. So when do we use past perfect tense? We use this past perfect tense in order to talk about the action that has already completed before the start of the another event past. The thing is, in the past, two events occurred, but the occurrence of the second event took place only after the completion of the first event. The thing is, completion of the first event only led to the start of the another event. Okay, this completed and then this started. So here we use the formula had plus verb 3 whenever we are to talk about something that indicates this particular, that is past perfect tense. So here action that happened before another action in the past. So remember there are two actions that are to occur occurred in the past, but one action occurred only after the completion of the first action. Okay, so this is what present perfect tense indicates us. So talking about, in order to understand it in a very simple way, let us look at the example. The thing is, here this is the first action and this is the another action. This one is the first action, this one is the another action. So I had my breakfast before I went to the work. So before getting to the work, before going to the work, before reaching to the work, or before going to the work, I had already had my breakfast. Two actions occur, but the another second action occurs only after the completion of the first action. That is what present perfect tense talks about. So let us move to the another idea. So that is present perfect continuous tense. So here in this present perfect continuous tense, the action has started in the past. It describes the action that has started in the past and continued till a shortened period of time in the past. Action is started in the past, but it is remained in a progressive form for a shortened period of time, but in a past. Okay, so we use the formula that is had been plus verb for. So here, why verb for? Because we are talking about the continuation of an action for a shortened period of time in a past. That is the reason why we use verb for, but we are supposed to use had plus verb, had plus been whenever we talk about this particular idea. This often shows that something was ongoing for a while before something else happened. So before the here as well, before the occurrence of something, something was already going on in the past. Whenever we are to talk about the occurrence of the action in the past, that was occurrence of the action, something was already ongoing before the happenstance of the another action. So the thing is, here the she had when started, this is the first action, and this one is the another one, her mother arrived. So what was she doing? She had been studying for 2 hours. So what was she doing? What action was she performing? She was performing the action of studying. For how much period of time? For a shortened period of time, that is 2 hours. Before what? Before the arrival of her mother. Here, like some action was ongoing for a while before the happenstance of the another action. So here she was studying for 2 hours before the arrival of mother. So let us move to the another idea, that is future tense. So this is the third main tense, and the simple future tense is the subtype of this future tense. So we use future tense not to talk about the present, neither to talk about the past action, but something that is yet to occur. We use this particular tense. So what action that will happen in the future? Something that is yet to happen. So we use the formula shall, subject plus shall or will, along with the verb one and the object. So why do we use this future tense, so the simple future tense? So we use simple future tense in order to make predictions. If we are to talk about the probability of the occurrence of some action, we use this particular idea. That is, I think he will be rich and famous one day. I have not said that it is shortened for him to be rich. I am just predicting, I am just assuming that he will be rich. So make sure that we use the structure very well. So also we use this whenever we are talking about the simple present tense, we use the time adverbial, that is tomorrow, tonight, or the soon. Okay, so what will you do at the weekend? So the thing is, you are talking about the action that has not yet occurred. Okay, so let us move to the another subtype, that is future continuous tense. So talking about the continuous tense, I guess you are much more familiar that the continuous tense is also known as the progressive tense. So don't get confused when people ask you what is progressive tense. It is what continuous tense is. So talking about the future continuous tense, it describes an action that will continue and remain in progress for shortened period of time in future. So the thing is, it will be talking about the action that will continue and remain in a progressive form in a future, that will be happening at a specific time, that will be in progress, that will be in the occurrence in specific time in a future. So whenever we are talking about this continuous tense, we will be using will or shall be plus verb 4. You can understand this as a verb 4. Okay, so here let us look at the example. The thing is, I will not be working tomorrow, so we can go shopping. The thing is, something will be happening. The thing is, I, the subject I, will not be working tomorrow. When? Tomorrow she will not be working. So she is saying that we can go for the shopping. So make sure that while using these tenses, we are not creating a sentence in the affirmative form only. We can also create a sentence in a negative form as well. Okay, let us move to the another one. Another subtype is future perfect tense. So when do we use future perfect tense then? So we use future perfect tense to describe of an action that will be completed by a shortened time in the future. So talking about the future perfect tense, whenever we are to talk about action that will whenever we are to talk about the action that will be completed in a shortened period of time in the future, use this particular tense. So here we used to talk about an action that will be completed in a future before a specific period of time, that will be completed but in future. That is, the thing is, she will have finished her project by tomorrow. Like by tomorrow she will complete her project is the idea. So we use the structure shall have or will have along with the verb 3. So because we are talking about the completion of the action in the future, because of this particular idea, we will be using the verb 3. So actions that will be completed by a shortened time in the future. Okay, let us move to the last subtype, that is future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense. So what is the use of this? So we use future perfect continuous tense to describe an action that will remain progressive until a shortened time in the future. Something that will remain in a progressive form. Whenever we are to talk about something that will remain in a progressive form until a certain time in the future, we use this particular idea, that is future perfect continuous tense. So used to describe action that will be ongoing in a future until a shortened period of time. That will be, some actions will be in a progressive form in future until a shortened period of time in the future. So we use this particular idea. So we use the formula, that is shall have been or will have been along with the verb 4. Why verb 4? Because the action will be in progress until a shortened period of time. So because of this particular idea, so we use either shall have been or will have been. You choose shall or will being based on a subject, and along with that you are also using the verb 4 along with the been as well, because you will be indicating to an action that will be in a progressive form for a certain period of time. So let us talk about the example over here. So by the time we reach home, that is, this is by the time you reach home, until by the time you reach home, the children will have been staying alone at home for hours. So that is, something will be ongoing in future. That is, the children staying alone will be in a progressive form until a shortened period of time. That is, until this we reaches home, until the we reaches home, this is the children will have been staying alone. That is, the staying alone of children at home will be in a progressive form for a shortened period of time until this we reaches home, right? For alone home, for how, for a certain period of time, that is for 2 hours. So before the time we reach home, the children will have been staying alone at home for 2 hours. So this is indicating to the idea that something, the staying of a children will remain in a progressive form until a shortened time in a future. So until a certain time in a future, these children will remain at home alone. So this is indicating to an action that something will be in an ongoing form for a shortened period of time in a future. So I hope I made you guys clear about these tenses as well. Thank you.